On the 4th of February 2019, former President Muhammadu Buhari swore in the 4th Governing Board of ICPC, led by Professor Bolaji Owasanoye, SAN. In April of the same year, the board approved a new Strategic Action Plan 2019 to 2023 to guide its operations. When the current board of ICPC was inaugurated, it was charged by former President Muhammadu Buhari to, amongst other things, take measures that would prevent revenue diversion, leakages, and using the prevention is better than cure approach, march against MDAs that continue to violate instant laws and regulations on fiscal management and integrity. To this end, the board, ably led by Professor Bolaji Owasanoye, SAN, immediately hit the ground running by focusing on activities that align with the Commission's enabling law and mandate through the initiation of policies and other reform measures that have direct bearing on the people. What are these programs and reform measures, and how have they brought about good governance? The Honorable Chairman spoke on some of them. Take a listen.
Okay, I think I would place them across our core mandate, which is threefold of enforcement, prevention, and then engagement of the civic population. With regards to enforcement, ICPC in particular, we've been able to track to completion over 3,000 publicly funded projects, many of which had either been abandoned or partially completed or not done at all over the 4 years, for example. With regards to prevention, we have looked at the systems and processes of government, for example, and identified areas of default and leakages of the budget, especially personnel. And we have issued advisories which government had accepted to block those leakages. So in this regard alone, in 2019, for example, we restrained 81 billion. In 2020, it was 147 billion. Last year, it was, I forget the figure for 2021. Last year, I think it was 47 or something like that billion. So, and this was money that would have taken flight if it had not been restrained. And it was restrained based on our prevention efforts and activities. With regard to civic engagement, in other words, getting the population involved in anti-corruption issues, this commission has been able to work very closely with non-state actors, civil society, and even the media to track projects, for example, to popularize and advocate the National Ethics and Integrity Policy, which was adopted and approved by the government in August 2020. We have conscientized communities to be focused on the use of public funds within their own communities. So if there is an appropriation to do a project in your community, even though it is sponsored by your representatives, it is your money because it is public funds. So our campaign with communities on my constituency, my project, has sensitized communities to pay more attention to public funds being spent within their communities and to be able to account for it. So if there is no value for money on the ground, they report to us. So we get traditional rulers, community groups, interest groups, professional bodies, all writing to say, look, this project that has been allocated to this community and budgeted for, it's not been done, it's half done. The contractor has been compromised and stuff like that. So that way we're able to get the presence of government felt across the entire country. Well, a whole myriad of strategies. First of all, is to aggregate what laws permit what. I mean, the provisions had always been there all along, but were not maximized. So the first thing is to say, look, we have powers to do these things. To build a broad spectrum of stakeholders who are involved, including investigators, prosecutors, the judiciary, and all that, including even the fourth estate of the realm, to watch what are recovered assets, where is the loot that has been taken, and what are they used for, and stuff like that. The third, of course, is whistleblowers. Well, ICPC has used a lot more now of digital forensic technology. Before we go to court, because everybody uses technology these days, largely, especially those who are involved in big-time corruption cases. So everybody leaves a digital footprint, okay, which can easily be monitored through your devices, your computers, through your financial transactions. We have a whole new laboratory on digital forensic facilities, which includes polygraphing as well. That has made tremendous impact in improving deliverables. And one of the things I should also mention as part of what has helped us to achieve is that we have built new capacities. We got funding to train and build experts in all these fields: handwriting experts, polygraphing experts, experts in digital device analysis. You know, we now have, and indeed, I think the first female handwriting expert in the country is in our commission. So if you say what's innovation, technology, and these are examples. Of course, in the larger ecosystem, there's been the role of the Treasury Single Account. Before, MDAs could open account in the myriads of banks, so tracking what they were doing was something of a nightmare. But now everybody pays into a single account. You know, every payment goes to that account. I can tell you what areas I had focused on under my watch. This would include both soft and hard infrastructure. So for some of the soft infrastructure I've mentioned, like the technology, you know, if you knew the commission before I assumed office, you would easily be able to tell what changes have taken place, even without my saying so, looking around the premises. But some of the areas with regards to, for example, our enforcement mandate, we have new interview rooms, all digitized, okay? Cameras, microphones, interviews recorded. We have biometric profiling for suspects as provided for by the law. We have digitized our records right from when this commission was established up to date. Okay, all those records are digitized. We've digitized our petition collection and processing system. And then, of course, the digital forensic lab, fully created, standardized to international best practice. And our officers are members of the International Association, so that if they conduct a test and somebody wants to challenge it, you can bring an expert from anywhere to say these were the processes followed. Okay? It's like you go to a doctor. If the doctor is accused of negligence, you need another doctor to say you should have done this, should have done this. So we have all that included in the things that we have introduced. And then, of course, we've opened new state offices. When I resumed, there were 15. The law says we should have a state office in every state of the Federation, apart from the federal capital. We had 15. We've opened 6 more. And as we speak, we have prototype buildings ongoing in 6 places. And this is an ongoing effort. So in terms of what I've tried to do, these are some of the things I've tried to do. There's also been soft reforms in terms of administrative reforms. The Commission's administrative structure has been collapsed into about 10 departments and units, okay, to make for a pyramidal structure compared to what I inherited, which was like a box. So the higher you go, the narrower and the more competitive it becomes, and then you can get the best out of people. And then, of course, we've also improved our grading system for promotional purposes. So those are some of the soft things. And for the soft infrastructure and improvement, it has been with the collaboration of the Office of the Head of Service and other relevant government parastatals or agencies that add value to what we wanted to do.
One of the major achievements of the fourth board is the Constituency and Executive Project Tracking Initiative. The tracking was done in collaboration with civil society organizations, the media, Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, and others. We spoke with one of our partners on their experience monitoring the projects. Let's hear him.
I'm really excited when ICPC launched the Constituency Project Tracking Initiative. One is because as ICPC, they have the legal and regulatory framework. They're empowered as a government anti-corruption board to ensure that they tackle corruption at the grassroots, because Constituency Project touched the fabric of society. And with that project, we saw success, because even as Follow the Money, information that we cannot lay our hands on, ICPC got this information, but they also went further to investigate and also putting light on National Assembly members who were enjoying nomination in the budget for Constituency Project. I believe that it is a case study not only for Nigeria, but the economic, the West African community, and even the African Union community. Last year we were in Washington, D.C. with the chairman of ICPC, and he got commendation from the international community from this Constituency Project tracking that ICPC is leading. This is noble, and I believe the lessons learned can be used not only in Nigeria, but across Africa.
The achievements of the fourth board cut across the organizational restructuring of the Commission, fiscal infrastructural development, new initiatives, policies, and programs. As a new management is ushered in, the Commission's passion towards corruption fight in Nigeria is further renewed. Certainly, the coming years will even see greater achievements with the participation of all citizens in the fight against corruption for a better Nigeria.